Hey everyone. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but here in the middle of the night in Oklahoma City, there's a very loud thunderstorm going on. A couple of times the thunder has been so loud it's caused the car alarm across the street to go off, so if you hear a big bang and flashing lights, that's probably what it is. Just heads up. Um, Also, don't forget that there's still time to vote for me in the Best of the Best OKC in the Gazette. I'm up for Local Living Author. There are five, and I'm on there with Essie Hinton. There are four other people, and they're, like writers as well, but Essie Hinton wrote The Outsiders. Like, I'm super excited. I'm fangirling a little bit. Sorry. I'm just super excited that my name is on a list with hers. So, yay! Anyway, so don't forget to go vote. Link is in the description. And since it is a dark and stormy night, I have decided to read you guys a story. Is this a piece of flash fiction I wrote for the A to Z April Challenge in 2015? It's called Killers Among Us, and I hope you like it. All right, here goes. I was only 20 years old the first time I held the hand of a murderer. I clasped it between my own two hands and looked into his eyes as he put his old, sick dog down. I told him how sorry I was, and I helped him out the door. I'd never seen someone so big be struck down by such overwhelming grief. And he chose to do it alone. I didn't see him again for several months, and the incident was lost in my memories of everyday clients and their pets. However, when he showed back up one evening just before closing, I immediately remembered how he sobbed quietly into his handkerchief as his dog had passed away. He walked up to the front desk and stood there for a moment, his head down. I just wanted to say thank you, he finally managed, raising his bright blue eyes up to meet mine. I smiled and nodded, but was unsure of what he was thanking me for. When we had put down his dog, there had been snow on the ground. Now it was 110 degrees in the shade. So much time had passed, and the plants had forgotten who they were. I turned my head to the side, tilting it as I studied him, and offered him a standard reply. I had dealt with many people in their grief, but this was definitely a first. It was no problem. It's always such a hard thing to do, I said. No one should have to go through it alone. He nodded and stared down at his hands for a long time, not making a move to go away or say anything. After a bit, I picked up some paperwork and started to sort through it in hopes that he might be persuaded to do something. Anything. Finally, he looked at me once again, and I saw the sea of anguish in his eyes, and I realized he was grappling with far more than his dog's death 6 months ago. That is a very true statement. Thank you again. He held out his hand, and I shook it, and this time there was a spark of electricity that seemed to flow from his palm into mine. A shiver so stark and cold ran up my arm and down my spine. In that instant, I imagined running out into the heat to purge myself of it. His smile was slow to spread across his face, but it never did reach his eyes, and when he walked out of the door and into the bright sunlight, I knew it would be the last time I ever saw him. I don't think I was all that surprised when I saw his picture on the news that night, saying that he had walked into the police department and turned himself in less than 30 minutes after coming into the clinic. When I heard that he had chopped his wife into little pieces and stored her in the freezer, I remember the horrible chill that ran down my arm when he touched me. The thought of the blood that must have been hidden under his fingernails and in the crevices of his fingerprints that had once been flowing through his wife, a woman I had seen on a monthly basis for the last 3 years. When I looked down and saw that I had sliced open the palm of my own hand while cutting vegetables, I should have been surprised. I should have been horrified. But I could do nothing but wonder how much blood flowed through her body when he was cutting it apart. How much of the residue of who she had been was now imprinted on my hand, my soul. Would it ever be the same? All right, that was the story. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you, and good night.